Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to today's video. Today we're going to be replacing the U-joint on the Black Cherokee. And I just wanted to take a second to thank the new subscribers. I know we have a couple new ones. We're trying to grow this channel to at least 100 subscribers. So if you could please hit that subscribe button, like this video, it'll sure help me out. So let's get started. And also, been kind of holding off on this. It's been really cold here, so it hasn't really been good weather to film. Haven't really had much motivation to get out of the house. But in that time, now that the weather's getting nicer, we're gonna start making a lot more videos, and we do have some really cool things coming for this channel. And trust me when I say they're pretty freaking cool. A couple new builds that we're gonna be introducing here within the next few videos, and also a completely new car, which will be probably the only car on this channel that needs absolutely no work, and the thing is faster than hell. If one of you guys can guess it in the comments, except for you, Thomas, or Dawson, pretty sure you guys already know what it's gonna be. But if anybody else can guess it, I'm really curious to see if you guys will get it. So, all right, enough talk, let's get into today's video. So first of all, we're gonna start by chalking the front wheels. Doesn't even matter if your driveway's not on an incline. You're still going to want to have something in front of your wheels just to be sure. So what I'll normally do is just grab some pieces of scrap material. Got these extra bricks left over from the backyard and the front little paver walkway thing over there. So we'll just chalk those up, keep the vehicle from rolling. This Jeep is a 5-speed, so it doesn't have a park. So it pretty much just relies on the e-brake and keeping it in first gear. But the e-brake in this is pretty sketchy, so I don't really want to trust just that. But yeah, so basically all it's going to be is we're going to be replacing this U-joint right here. I replaced the rear one when I did the lift kit, but fortunately I didn't have enough time to do the front one. And I just thought, oh well, screw it, the front one's still good. I'll run it until it dies, and it only ended up being like 4 months later. So take the extra time, do both your U-joints when you're under here, or when you have the drive line out, because it makes it way easier. But yeah, learn from my mistake. All right, so we're gonna do this with basic tools only. To get the drive line out, all you need is an 8mm ratcheting wrench, or even just a standard box wrench. You're gonna need a big hammer. You can do it with a smaller hammer, but I'd recommend the bigger the hammer, the better, because you do need some force behind it. And then a screwdriver to remove the C-clips. And those should be the only tools we need, other than we may need a set of pliers. But we're gonna pull this out with those 8mm bolts holding the straps on, and then the driveline should just drop out, and then we can get to the C-clips on the inside of the U-joint. Also helps to soak all this down with a PB Blaster before, or any penetrant. But like I said, these ones are breaking free. You might have some trouble with a few of them, but these ones are breaking free only for the reason that I recently had this out. So if you can't get it out, you don't want to get it too hot because of this pinion seal, which mine's actually leaking. But you can take a torch just on one of these ears and get it nice and warm, and that'll definitely help you break your seals loose. Now, since this is a slip yoke, I should just be able to push this whole thing forward and then pull it out of the back of the transmission. And there we go. The drive line is out. So originally I thought it was going to be the front using the rear drive line equipment. Actually, it's this back one. This one was replaced when I lifted the Jeep, and it has already failed. So I don't remember what brand it was. All I know is it was cheap. I didn't want to spend a bunch of money just because I had to buy the lift, the wheels, the tires, and all the stuff for it all at once. So I cheaped out on the U-joints, but I have one brand new one that's a lot better quality. I'll go grab that real quick and we'll just replace this one then, because I only have one. So not quite as planned, but this one should be a little easier. So let me go grab that real quick. There's the first one. This can be a little tricky sometimes too. Like I said, I'm just doing these with the tools that I have laying around because I don't necessarily have the correct tools for this job, but this video is just more to show that you can do it with basic tools that you got laying around. All right, this screwdriver down in there. Come on. Okay, this one's kind of being a little annoying. And there we go. All right, so next, you want to grab your hammer, and then you'll just push it all the way down on one side, but I need to grab something to throw underneath the yoke right here to support it. So there's a few different ways to do this with minimal tools. If you have a vise, like a bench vise, that's preferable. But this is just all I have right now, and I need to drive this thing to work tomorrow, so we're gonna use a socket. This one is a 3/4 socket. We'll probably need to end up grabbing a longer one once we push it down in there a little bit farther. But we're just going to start tapping this and see if we can get it to go through. All right, so that's the other cap out. You see what failed? Those bearings are dust. And those ones are like perfect. So unfortunately, it is what it is. So now that we have that one, we beat it all the way down so we can pull that outer cap out. So now we need to beat this cap through so that we can take it out of the other side, and then the drive or the U-joint will just come right out. So for this other side, I'm going to use an 11/16, just because without that cap, we want it to sit right here on this lip. So that way we get a good tight fit, we can hammer it all the way through, and we're not going to screw up our socket, and we're not going to smash our fingers, hopefully. So start tapping this one back through the same hole that I tapped it out at. All right, so it looks like this other, oh, never mind. That just came right out. Okay, that's a good sign. So if that happens, let's take this long 11/16, pop her down in there. Then you'll take your long 3/4. That way you can feed it the rest of the way out. And there it goes. Rolling down the driveway. So there you go. Now the U-joint is out, we can start putting the new one in. All right, so now that we have the new U-joint, we're gonna wanna remove 2 of these caps and just set these in a safe place because you don't want those needle bearings to fall out and get lost. So with those set aside, you're basically gonna do the exact opposite of what you did to get it in. So we'll take the other 2 caps off, but you're gonna need these. So you get the U-joint in, one side first, and once that's in, once that's in, I'll get the cap started. So there we go. Now that cap is started in there. So you're gonna wanna hold the U-joint into the cap so that you don't lose any of those bearings. And you'll gently start tapping them in. And this is where having your U-joint in the freezer comes in handy, because now that this metal's cold, it's now smaller than these old caps that you took out, so it should go in nice and easy, which is exactly what we want. What I'll normally do is I'll beat this side in a lot further than you need to, because when it comes to the other side, you're going to need to flip this over, and you still want those bearings to be intact with the cap. So you'll grab one of your other new caps and you'll get the bearings started on the U-joint. Now you'll just set that one back in. And this one actually went in super easy. Just because, like I said, that was frozen. So it pretty much just slips right into place. So before we go too far with this guy, we're gonna flip this guy over and insert that first clip into that groove. Now you may need to take a screwdriver and just kind of go around and make sure that that little channel is totally cleaned out and ready to receive the new clip. So in a bag that comes with the new U-joint, you want to definitely make sure you use the new ones. Never put the old ones in. For one, I don't know why you would, but you never know. People do some weird things. So these, I'd recommend a set of needle nose, which I don't have right now. Didn't really plan on doing this video, but then again, you never plan on stuff to fail either, so it is what it is. All right, so now that clip is in, we'll flip this around, grab your socket again, and now we'll hammer it all the way down. better spot. Freeze your parts, and it will make life 10 times easier for you. All right, come on. And needle nose would sure be sweet right now. All right, so let's give it a couple taps just to make sure that it's centered. You want it to kind of move nice and free, so now that the new U-joint's in, if it were on this side of the drive line, you would basically just have to do the same thing over again on this side. The steps are exactly the same, nothing different. But now, since it's on this side, and these are held in by the clips that are on the drive line, you'll grab your 2 new caps, slide those on there. Now the driveline is ready to be installed back into the Jeep. All right, so get this lined back up with your slip yoke. Get it lined up with your angle too. Makes it easier to jack up the rear of the vehicle, but I'm not going to do that just because I don't really have the time, and it is starting to get dark. So what we're going to do is put the vehicle in neutral, since this is a 5-speed, and we'll do it that way. One second. I guess the neutral thing would also work if it was an automatic. I don't know what I'm thinking. It's been a very long day. When you work 10-hour days, sometimes it can make you say some funny things. Okay. Gotta get these clips back in. Upper ones. But if you're having a hard time reaching these top ones, that's when it definitely pays to jack this thing up so you can spin the rear tires to get the yoke to spin however way you want it for tightening. But in my case, it's just the right angle where I can reach all 4 of them and get good leverage. Let's see here. All right. Ratchet. So we're gonna tighten all these up, and this goes snug at first. You're gonna want to snug all of them. Do not tighten them right now. All right, now we're gonna go ahead and go through and snug them up. Be sure not to over tighten them because these bolts are very small, and it would really suck if you did damage and one of these flew off while you were driving. We don't want the driveline to fall out. Alrighty, and that's it. We're all done. Alright, well now that the driveline's done, I just wanted to thank you guys for watching. Please like and subscribe. It'll really help this channel. Like I said, we're trying to get this channel to 100 subscribers. I know we can do that. If not more, that would be freaking awesome. But for the future videos, it's going to be fun. I'd really like to know if you guys could guess what car we're going to be having on the channel, and it will be around for a good long while. And then we also have a couple other projects coming to the channel. One of them I wouldn't really call a vehicle, but it's not a land vehicle anyway. But we're going to be starting that project here pretty soon once the weather gets a little bit nicer, and then hopefully we will have it in the water sometime maybe at the end of this summer or even in the winter. As soon as it's done, it's going in the water. It doesn't matter if it's snowing or if it's raining. But then the other one, we're gonna have some fun with that one. And then there's also a third vehicle coming to the channel, possibly even a fourth. So please like, subscribe for future videos. It's gonna be freaking awesome. And I'm super excited for you guys to come along for the ride. And yeah, I just tripped over my tripod. I'm not gonna cut that out.